businesses, right? So who are the role model, how they are going to do, what, basic level of critical business failures or say business problems they have faced during that. It's not that anybody who's going to start the business is going to be successful, right? So they definitely face that those kind of problems. Maybe the one business is failed and second is failed, but third or fourth is going to be like strong, you know uh, generating the business, and they are very very successful. So unit 1 talks traits about the entrepreneurs. Unit 2 talks about corporate entrepreneurship, which talks about more and more related to the businesses, jobs over there, how managerial versus entrepreneurial decisions have been taken. So differences you must know. We are not managers, we are the entrepreneurs. So we require to understand the difference between a manager and an entrepreneur. So corporate entrepreneurship is a very vital factor and very important factor. And people who are into the corporate, they generally require to follow the corporate entrepreneurship because it gives the boost to the career also, because corporates also looking for people who are entrepreneurs in their business. That is called intra-entrepreneurship, which we'll discuss also. Then unit 3 talks about strategic entrepreneurial strategy, where how to ensure that finding the new opportunities, gaps during the businesses or the businesses are going on, new entry, generation of the new entry opportunities we are going to discuss. We'll try to analyze and find out some strategies to ensure that how to milk or exploit such kind of entries, right? Then finally we try to understand that risk, how you can mitigate through those strategies for new exploitation. So that is the unit 3. Then unit 4 talks about the creativity and business idea, because it's not that you are going to open a shop nearby and you say that I'm not. That's a simple trading business, nothing else. But once you start solving the problem of the masses, you are into the entrepreneurship, right? You talk in number of companies, successful companies, they have identified a particular problem of the masses and solve it. Now they are into the top level of the businesses. So that idea, that trend we require to identify, which comes in the unit 4. Then we try to understand several methods available to generating the ideas, creating problem solving ideas, creativity and entrepreneurship, innovations, opportunity recognition, everything which is related to identification will go on. Unit 5 talks about understanding and identification and analyzing the domestic and international opportunity. This second part of unit 4, which we are going to discuss in that. Right. So in India as well as outside of the India, how you can go for a market selection, entrepreneurship strategies in those global, cross borders. Apart from that, how you can do the partnering, barrier in international trade, and other things we are going to discuss in that. 6 is more and less about understanding the legal aspect of the entrepreneurs. Right. So in that, intellectual property need for understanding of the laws. So how you can use it, if you talk about some basic understanding of the business, you can easily study and you can have some good understanding about it. So maybe the copyright, maybe the patent, maybe, business, what are the method? If you are the, startup, then how you can ensure that your trademarks, copyrights, can be filed and easily can done. Else, if you go with anybody else, you'll require to, give more and more funds on that. Licensing, product safety and liabilities, that we are going to understand. Then unit 7 talks about the business plan, straightforward understanding about the ventures, how you can ensure that ultimately your entire operation is going to be successful in front of your investors. So that we are going to understand. Then how you can evaluate your planning, that you are required to represent in front of maybe a banker, maybe an angel investor, maybe anybody else, where you are looking for some funding from them. So that is another aspect which we are going to understand. Then we try to understand the marketing plan as well as market mix for a particular business also. So unit 8 talks about organizational plan. Once you have started your business, legal forms of business, then taxes, everything is going to come. So that very clear-cut understanding about those things. You cannot ignore those things that somebody else is going to do it. So you need to understand those level of business plans as well as the financial planning, that how you are going to ensure that capital budgeting, how you are going to have the operations or say expenses on that. Then income statements, you must understand that how to analyze the fund statement or say cash flows of the particular. So that is very simplest level where you can easily identify the gaps over there and you can get rid of them. Right? Unit 9 and 10, source of capital, how you can raise your funds, family, friends, commercial bank, what are the ways to identify those things, R&D and partnership, government grants, other things which you are going to have, bootstrap financing. We'll understand various kind of, venture capital, going public, how you can do it. So that we going to understand in this part. Unit 10 talks about strategies for the growth and managing the implications. So that is going to understand the entire aspect of a particular business. So maybe internal as well as the external, HR, employees, you talk about franchisee, buyouts, mergers, acquisitions, everything, succession planning. Ultimately, after 20 years, if your business is too big, then how you are going to handle those things in India as well as companies law, bankruptcy, every aspect of the business final stages where we are going to understand those things. Right? Simple. Any questions so far? I think these are the particular things which we are going to understand, and it is very simple way, but very, very logical. Any questions so far? Just let me know. Anything? 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 If you have, then we can proceed further. I hope things are clear. Very simple syllabus, logical. You need to follow the logics on this. Done? Okay, so I'm sharing the unit 1 also. Let's begin with the unit 1 also, so that you would be having more. The class would be more interactive. I'll keep on asking questions. It won't be a simple way of one-way information or communication. You need to participate. You need to write those things in your chat box whenever I ask a question, or if you have any question, you can do it. Yeah. Any questions so far about this syllabus? Meanwhile, upload the unit 1. I hope slides are visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move. So basically, the understanding about the unit 1 is the entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial mindset. So before beginning to it, you require to understand that entrepreneurs are not born. First and foremost thing that there used to be a myth over there that entrepreneurs are born or managers are born. These are not correct. You need to understand that you can develop your entrepreneurship. People out there in the market, they were totally don't know anything about entrepreneur, but after 20 years or 25 years of their career, they had the great success. Right? Now we require to identify that what are those ways where you can develop those areas or those skills for entrepreneurs. So in unit 1, we talk about majorly the mindset, that if you have very strong mindset about learning, about to innovate, then you are on the right way to develop a particular business solution. So that we are going to understand in that. So unit 1 talks about mainly the nature of the entrepreneurship. What type of nature? Including the core principles, characteristics, role of driving innovations and economic growth, right? Second, we try to understand that how entrepreneurs think, right? Include their decisions, their processes, their problem solvings, and approach to the risk and uncertainty. See, ultimately, if you are into a job, then you have the salary at the end of the month. So you'll go to your office, you come back, you go to your office, come back. At the end of month, you'll have the receiving a particular amount. So you are at the less risk prone. Max, what happened? You can lose your job. But entrepreneurs, they are taking the huge risk on time, on reputation, on money, on opportunity, whatever you talk about, because they are going to invest and need to understand that businesses are not for a year. It is not for a 5 years even it's not for a 25 years, and it is not for or not limited for 100 years. Companies who were started in 1850s, 1860s, Coca-Cola, Nestle, they are more than 125 years old companies now. So the person who had started in 1860, 1880s, he was not thinking that this company is just for me only. right? So you need to understand how the companies have been built, how entrepreneurs are thinking for the longer version from, lineage to lineage it goes on. Yeah, you can talk about Tatas, you can talk about n number of companies who are there more than 100 years ago since. So that is the way the mindset starts on that. Right? It's not about that today my job is there, tomorrow I'm going to have no, I'm not having any job. So that's not the point over here. So you need to understand that how entrepreneurs think, include their decision making, how they take the risk, how to analyze the risk, how to find out the uncertainty, and then finally try to mitigate those. So in this, again, we try to find out the intention to act like an entrepreneurship, understanding the motivational factor in the business, opportunities, finding the gap, finding the goals that you are going to set for your ventures, for your people. Then we try to understand that how to, background and characteristics of the entrepreneurs, how they are doing it, what are the motivation, involved in that. So that is going to come. Personal traits, life experiences. It's not that only the single way that you are studying entrepreneurship and you are becoming an entrepreneur. No, there are several other factors. And people who have not studied entrepreneurship or not done any management, still they are very good because some background of the learning already happened to them. This is the idea. Then we try to understand what kind of role models are going to support them. And that is the motivation factor. That is the aspired entrepreneurs are understanding those businesses. Evaluating the principle of the sustainable entrepreneurship. That is the important factor. Sustainable businesses required to be done. Right? You need to try one, two, third. Maybe the third one is going to going a big blast for you. That is the understanding. Clear? So these are the important factors. Right? I hope this is clear. What we are discussing. So let's understand the single point, that is single word, entrepreneurship. So basically the definition, if we talk about, it is required to understand a dynamic process of creating and scaling a new value through the opportunities recognition, innovation, and resource mobilization. These three things are the base of any business venture. That means you are going to recognize an opportunities, then innovate the solution, then finalize or mobilize those resources required for process. Yeah. So beyond the business creation, you need to understand that how modern enterprises are driving this systematic chain across the sectors. Maybe right now the tech is like anything, like tech plus education, edutechs are into the market, right? Artificial intelligence and other industries, how they are doing it. Health, sustainability, whatever you talk about, now you need to understand you require to go beyond the business process or creation. Right? You have the global impact on those things. Right? People who are actively working, actively thinking about the entrepreneurship, they try to ensure that they are going to create new jobs. Ultimately, what entrepreneurs are? They are creating the jobs for the economy. They are employing people. They are deploying the resources. They are ensuring that everybody who's working over there, they are going to get their salaries on time. Right? So these are some factors which are going to have very strong, significance in that. So why entrepreneurship are, very strong or having this significant presence today? So in 21st century, that is, you understand from the last 250 years ago, how it was started at Renaissance, then industrial revolution, then electricity, then engines, then, you'll find that petrol, diesel mechanism, then, computers, and then more and more about artificial intelligence things are going to come. So that actually the lineage of creating a, strong entrepreneurship in every century. This century is going to be very different because from last 20 years, things have changed and last 4 years, things are changing very fast. So what driving 60% of groundbreaking innovations are pioneered by the startups. So startups, unicorns. I hope we understand the word unicorn. What is unicorn? Anybody? Unicorn? Anyone? Unicorn who can talk about something? What do you mean by unicorn? You can write in the chat box also. Anyone? Can anybody tell us what do you mean by unicorn? You can write in chat box. What do you mean by unicorn? No one out of 700 people. What is the meaning of unicorn? Come on, come on, come on. We must understand these things. I request that you required to put those things into chat, not question answer. Right here, only the question I'm going to entertain. Okay, write into chat only. So Kadam is saying companies above $1,000. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Quick, write in the chat. Here only. You can write in the chat box. Okay, unicorn is a legendary animal typically depicted as a horse with a single spring. Come on, guys, don't, Google it or some kind of these things. It is a simple way to understanding about the unicorns. Anybody? Yes, valuation over 1 billion. Now answers are coming. 1 billion what? Arya? Valuation over 1 billion rupee, dollar, euro, pound, what? First, yeah. Anybody else? $1 billion? More than 1 billion? Okay. I request when moderator to open the chat box. It would be more easy for me.
It's already open.
But they are saying that chat box is not enabled. It is only question answer. It is difficult for me to switch.
But there is no other option, sir.
No other option available. Okay, I'll switch. Keep on switching. No issue in that. No issue. Come on, guys. Come on. Okay, so it is very simple way. 8,000 crore valuation. If you go in rupees, then it is 85,000. Okay, 85,000 crore, or rather to say $1 billion as per the revenue. Right? They have earned like this. So marking the first time to $1 billion, that is called unicorn. So everybody must understand that once you start a company, there are some levels, right? So nowadays, from the last 10 years, if we talk about it, it is related to that how much your company has earned. So there are some, and it should be a startup. It cannot be like a company which is older, very, 20 years, 30 years company. Your startup, you started working from the 4-5 years, now you reach to $1 billion mark, right? So that is the way to understand on that. Okay, I'll switch to question answer. I think, yeah, answers are coming. No issue. Today just we go through the question answer slot only. No issue. Right? Clear? Okay. So we were talking about the why it is important. Then again, the important aspect which we learned from 2021-22, that is the crisis, COVID era. Various companies were closed, issues were there. But again, in this crisis, you'll find that new companies again spurt like anything. Maybe the healthcare, maybe the edutech companies, digital educations, like you'll find that opportunities, and people shifted from our traditional way of the business to like this, right? Then entrepreneurship meaning is resilience. You keep on doing these things. You require to adopt or adapt as per the market conditions, as per the market disruptions. People failed to, react as per the market disruptions. They do not have any right to stand in the market. It's very, very clear to everyone, right? You cannot be a Nokia. Nokia again adapted, right? They are moving now very fast. But in 2000, they ignored something which is the disruption, and they are out of the market. Same way, right? Right now, the more and more things are coming as the blockchain, artificial intelligence. Companies or organizations, if they are not going to adopt, they are not going to change as per the latest trend, they would be out of the market or out of the race. Yeah. So mindset shifting from profit first to impact first. Understand this. Entrepreneurship put those things which are going to be the disruption in the market. Right? Chat GPT, right? Beating the Google like anything. You talk about, right? You talk about right now latest things which came into the market as a AI, or say you talk about chats, bots which are going to come, or LLM. So those are like Grok, how it is going to disrupt, right? You'll find that Chinese product in the AI also. So how they are going to disrupt on that? So that is, people are looking not for the profit. They want to disrupt the market. This is the right now 21st century's mindset of the entrepreneurs. They are not here to earn the profit. They want to disrupt the entire market. Then they are going to generate like anything. Yeah. So the mind behind the movement, it is very simple to idea. But mindset matter. Entrepreneurs require, to understand that what they do, but not how they think. You need to how they think. It is the important, like opportunity recognitions. Now, in this time, how you identify the opportunity? Everywhere, first level job is going to be evaporated by 2029-30. First level of the job is going to be, taken by AI. Clearly, banking system, HR system, even in the finances, even you talk about stock trading, you'll find that people are not there. Now AI is taking care of those things. Right? If you ignore them, definitely you would be, you would see that things have been totally changed. How you adaptable, how you are resilient, and again your next level of vision, next 5 years, 10 years, 30, how blockchain is going to change the things. That is the way you are looking for the trend also, right? Science backed insight, right? So you need to understand that a systematic process of understanding a higher level of the openness to experience, right? Proactive behavior instead of having a very stagnant kind of understanding. No, it's not going to work right now. Application beyond the startups, how they are going to use in that. Corporate innovations, always required to become a corporate innovator. Entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, social change. Always talk about non-government organizations like non-profitability, but disruptions. Public services, government tech, edutech, right? Reg tech, which is latest going to come. That your certifications, your checking of your entire certificates is going to be taken care by AI, right? So that the things you require to understand those things. So nature, if we talk about the nature of the entrepreneurship, it is more transformative. It's fueling innovations. It's a growth and social change, societal change is required in that. So now the idea is not just a business creation. It's all about understanding the opportunity, finding the risk navigation or the risk, how you can avoid, mitigate those things. And finally, how you are deriving the value which you are going to give to the society. So that is the way the new things are going to come. So very simple, global significance. In fact, I just let jump to 24 report says 43% working working age adults across 49 economies saw a good opportunity to start a business. Right? So people think more proactively to become an entrepreneur. And you'll find that even in your relation, people who are into the job still they are doing some kind of businesses, small businesses through that. So nobody knows that after 5, 7 years, 3 years down the line, their business get a hit, huge, and their product is like mesmerizing the market forces, and they are into the big league of the businesses, right? So startups, entrepreneurship within the firm, social and the sustainable enterprises, these are the things which are going to work very nicely, right? Very simple. Zipline, 2024 study was there. They are delivering emergency medicals in Africa and US, showing the tech-based entrepreneurship for societal impact. Yeah, in villages they are supplying the medicine in US and Africa. So they know that in Africa they are not going to get anything much like in US. But what they are doing, they're ensuring that disruption for the societal change they are going to have it. Elements, if we talk about the innovation, opportunities, recognition, opportunity recognition, and risk and uncertainty. So core element, more innovation, the heart of the entrepreneur. This is the spirit of the entrepreneurship, where if you are doing the innovations on the business process through the products, through the services, then you are going to have it, right? So you can know that these things how it is going to happen. So the company is bigger. Fortune 500 companies already working on that. Leaving the tech companies, you'll find that other companies are into that. They working very hard to ensure that AI is the part of that. Human brain and AI both work together. Today, the writing is very simple, right? I need not to think anything about that. I'm going to write very wrong thing. No, it's not possible. Today, AI is backed by it, but it should not be totally bended. You cannot abandon those things, right? Opportunity recognition. You need to identify how the things are moving across the globe, not at only the local level, but at the global level, right? GPTs into the market from the last 2.5 years, but now they are learning more things. Their algorithms are more vast than what you think, and they are more interactive. They are learning. Their capacity is increasing day by day. Risk and uncertainty. Entrepreneurs take calculated risk. It's not that it is not like that you are going to take that risk like anything. You need to calculate the risk. You must know that how much depth is there in particular risk. What is risk? Anyone? What is risk? Anybody? What do you mean by risk? Can anyone define risk? Come on, come on, come on. Anyone who can define the risk? It seems very simple, but you need to understand risk. What do you mean by risk? Risk? Anyone? Anyone? What do you mean by risk? To take financial risk, financial losses or failures, bad happening. Okay, anybody else? Take chance. Risk maybe any type of no. What else? Yeah, maybe the partly you are correct. Risk. Anybody who can define like what do you mean by risk in a single word? Risk is uncertainty. We can define that when things are not certain, then we say there is a risk. You invest in a stock, say Reliance, which is currently say around 1250 rupees some way, and you buy 1 million stocks of that. Then what is the risk? What is the risk? If you buy a particular stock, say Reliance or Infosys at 1200 rupees or 1250 rupees, what is the risk? What is the risk? Okay, bad happening. If you're buying a stock, then what is going to happen? The uncertainty is that that stock may fall down, right? It can go down. So for instance, if you bought it at 1250 rupees, it moved to 1000 rupees. That means you have loss of 250 rupees that you are going to have it. So that is uncertain. You don't know what are the factors are working on that. You don't know that what kind of conditions are there in the market. You don't know that what companies are thinking, what competitions are there out there in the market. So huge uncertainty is everywhere. Only the 33% chance that the market can go up or say that particular stock price. Else it can go down or it can retain the price level. If it is retaining the price level, again, you are at the loss because there is something called cost of the fund, which is going to hamper your balance sheet. Yeah, simple. Okay, let's move. Okay, key elements we are talking about, that is 4 to 6 again. These are resources, value and sustainability. Resource mobilization, important factor that you need to ensure that talent, technology, finances, your skills, how you are going to utilize them. OpenAI, $10 billion have been investment by Microsoft for resource scalability. How companies are working very hard to ensure those things. Value creation, that means how you are going to ensure that you are going to meet the needs. That is going to come through wealth plus social impact, positive impact. If you are going to have the negative impact, that means it is going to have a strong destruction part on your brand image. Then you cannot survive in the market. Right? So the way they are working is very, very fast and understanding. So value creation is the single aspect where companies are working thoroughly. Then sustainability, which talks on people, planet, profit. Yeah. So that is again, it should be in your key element of your entrepreneurship. Okay. What are the types of entrepreneurship? There are various type categories. You can follow that. Small business entrepreneurs, scalable entrepreneurs, or say startups, rather to say corporate entrepreneurship, or other word is intra entrepreneurship. Then you have social entrepreneurship and scalable social entrepreneurship, right? So you need to understand that what category in which you want to, come as an entrepreneur. Are you small business, scalable startups, and these are some generally looking for the tech kind of a thing, AI kind of a thing, or like fintech kind of a thing, which are going to come. Corporate entrepreneurship, you're launching a product under the corporate leadership, will go one by one. Don't worry. Okay, so small business, scalable startup, and corporate entrepreneurship, which is related to more about more and more small businesses growing like anything. So you can find out those things. Home-based bakery in India, butter and bliss. You like to technology, Instagram, very simple. You n number of companies you can easily identify, which may be even not on the spare of taking the names. Scalable startups, Mistral AI, France-based, building open source LMs to compete with the global giants. See, more technology. Corporate entrepreneurship, Amazon's Coupure project, right? They are building a satellite to compete with the SpaceX. So these are the things which are going to come into the picture as in which category you are going to discuss on those. Social and scalable social entrepreneurship, it is more towards, giving to the society, right? Time Schools India, that donates footwear to underprivileged students for every purchase. Scalable social entrepreneurship, age unity. Example, I'm just talking directly. Uses blockchain to empower farmers in low connectivity rural areas, right? Scaling, say, agriculture business. So you need to understand that how the entrepreneurs are impacting the entire world. Okay, let's have some questions. Ready? You need to answer it. Okay, question number 1. Which of the following is not considered as a key element of entrepreneurship? You can write your answers in chat box or question answer panel. Quick, quick, quick. Need to participate. What should be the answer? Which of the following is not considered as a key element of entrepreneurship? Innovation, opportunity recognitions, guaranteed success, resource mobilization. Okay. The okay answers are coming. Slightly difficult. Okay. Everyone participate. Answer. Okay, answers are coming now in question answer. Okay, I was checking the chat box. Okay, so answer is C. Very right. I think everybody has given correct answer. All right, let's move to another question. Read it and answer it. I'm not going to read it. Come on, come on, come on, everyone. What is the answer? What is the answer? Which example best illustrates scalable startups or say startup entrepreneurship? Which is the answer? Come on, everyone. Understand it very nicely. We talked about scalable startup entrepreneurship. So point number A, neighborhood cafe using local produce. No, it is not the answer. Scalable startup. So I told you that a particular business is taking help of technology like AI. So the answer is a tech company using AI to disrupt the healthcare sector. Answer is C. There, simple, which can be scalable very fast, rapidly. Done, everyone? No, not D. It's C. A tech companies. D is an employee developing a new policy within a lot. No, that's not. It's a simple C answer. Tech company using AI. Okay, let's move to the another question. Answer it. Social entrepreneurship versus other type of entrepreneurship. Difference. Slightly better. Think. Quick, everyone. Everyone, pay attention on the concept. What distinguishes social entrepreneurship from other type of entrepreneurship? A, focus on building a global brand. B, prioritization of shareholder value. C, emphasis on societal impact over profit, and D, dependence on traditional business models. What should be the answer? Let me post C. The maximum answers. Okay, so answer is C. Emphasis on societal impact over profits. Okay, how entrepreneurs think? So strong idea to understand about how they are thinking, or really they are thinking differently, right? So basic level of understanding about this concept is what is the approach towards a particular issue. So entrepreneurs definitely looking for such kind of problems with more curiosity, more optimistic, and having a very strategic vision on it. So they are more really, they try to analyze, understand the gap as a growth zone. Gap should be there, and there should be a growth opportunity should be there, right? We have 10,000 ideas every day coming in our mind every day, right? But point is that are those ideas solving an issue, and that issue is scalable? You need to understand it. You have good idea about some kind of product or services gap, but can you scale it? Or that scalability is really a payable kind of a thing? That means, is it the growth zone once you identify as a gap? So that you should able to analyze. Then having the calculated risk, you must understand. Not recklessly you are going to put your everything into that particular business that it is going to have a hit. No, you don't know. But you should have informed, calculated risk in terms of strategy, right? So you need to understand. There are a number of examples. Can Ocean AI transform from the productivity tool to a dynamic AI work assistant by identifying rising trends in personal AI. Now you would be having very soon, within a year, you'll be having personal AI thoroughly understanding your characteristics. If you're having a banking account, you have, you registered somewhere, any website or more specific kind of product, then you are going to assist by them, right? So how the companies are working on that? Okay, portraits for entrepreneurs. That means how they think. So first is important problem solving mindset. So entrepreneurs solve before the sell. It's not that you are going directly to the company. They solve the issues first. Already we talked about, and the gap identification must be scalable. Eco-right, turn plastic waste into the trendy fashion accessories. Strategic risk taking. Decisions are backed by research. You need to understand research. So if you say that research is not my cup of tea, then it is difficult to become an entrepreneur. You can have people to do the research, but not the thinking you have in your mindset. Your research should be very strong in this area. Intuition and timing. You need to be very, very clear cut, having that right time, right kind of product, right place to be launched. And your intuition should be like this, like Tesla's Cybertrucks. Despite of delays, criticism, they are into the disruption designs. Now, third one, vision of the driven thinking. That means your vision should be like it is very, very sound and outweigh short-term gains. You should be looking for the longer term. You understand vision? Vision is not for the shorter time. It is a longer time. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. How you are going to perceive the entire future like this. Right? So same way the companies are looking for that. And these companies are solving the issues forever like this. And another one that we talk about, resilience, adaptability, and resourcefulness. You must bounce back from the setbacks. You should have the capability to do this. Yes. And number of examples we can talk about. Byju's may be a failure right now, but they are just reclamations. They are into the process to understand. You find n number of companies. You can find Reliance Natural Resources, again, failure, disastrous, but still reworking on those things through another aspects of them. Adaptability, you must able to understand that market changes. What is the pivot for you? right? So you need to understand that where you can be and those areas which market is reflecting. So there you can easily find out those things. Resourcefulness, doing more with less. It's not always keep on asking that I must have this, I must have this, then I'm going to work on the with less you are doing wonders. That is called resourcefulness. Finding creative solutions, finding the solutions with the low capital and low capital kind of sources. So that is going to boost your profitability as well as your balance sheet would become more strong. Right? Like very famous quote by the Charles Darwin. It's not the strongest who survive, but those most responsive to the change they survive. Immediately how you adapt the system, immediately how you adopt the technology, immediately you change your stance based on your, the economical equilibrium is happening on that. So the fourth point which we discussing intention to act entrepreneurial. So your intention is how you act as per the situation. What drives someone to become an entrepreneur? That is, intention is the conscious decision to pursue the opportunity, innovation, and create the value. And again, bridging the gap between your idea versus actions. If both are not meeting very well and there's some gap, then you cannot go ahead. You are on the first level of the failure. It's shaped by both internal mindset as well as external environment, so that you require keep on learning those things. Right? You need to understand, you imbibe the things which are happening across your external environment. What the things are going on. You should open your eyes. You must able to analyze those things. You must able to do the research very nicely. So you have very strong inner way to understanding a particular issue. Like very famous thing which already been green cycle. If you heard about it in UK, and the girl is Riya Sharma from India. Our intention to begin with a concern of the plastic waste. We always waste those things. N number of plastic things are coming into our offices, in our kitchen, in our home, and we throw them out. But that girl understood it and tried to solve the issue of having the plastic pollution. And it is now nationally recognized eco brand in the UK. Go and study the green cycle. You'll find that wonderful things that she has done. She thought like what exactly out of the box kind of a thing with external environment and her strong idea to fill the gap. Key factors which is related to core influence on the decision which you take. That is personal trait and belief. Creativity is the must. Self-efficacy, risk tolerance. These are the important factors. Right. So in 24, ion technologies. Go and study the ion technologies. You'll find that it was started by 19-year-old coder. Right? Digital security, how it is going to happen. So that how people are working on that, even at a small age. Social and cultural context, encouraging ecosystem, peer influence, and role models. Right? So how this startup ecosystem is going to, and people or the student even they think, and now universities and the level of the university where you find that incubation centers support from the government as well as universities are doing. So in undergraduation, even people think that they having copyrights, they having patents, they having the business idea, incubation centers available in the various universities. Even Manipal, we do have the incubation center to flourish your idea through the government support is available. Very you can do those things available. Then opportunities, perception, feasibility, which is more to understand the market gap, believing one can easily address it. So that you need to identify. So in 2024 and in 2000, you'll find that the products or services available during that time and now, or even 10 years ago, you'll find that how the gaps have been identified and filled by the companies or entrepreneurs. Right? So there are various models available on that, which we'll discuss in a later part also. So theory, one of TPB theory, which is theory of the planned behavior, which contribute in terms of understanding the attitude towards the behavior, right? Do I think entrepreneurship is a word pursuit? And that is going to come into your mind that I am okay with my job. Why should I take the pain of 24 hours into 365 days? So 24 hours pain, if you do not want to take, then there's no point of them. So be ready with the salary of whatever XYZ, 6 pay, 7 pay, 8 pay, whatever. But entrepreneurs, they'll earn like, if they take the risk, they earn like anything. Subjective norms. Do people admire or support me on this path? First level that you need to find with yourself, then with your family members, then with your neighbors, then with your friends, then with your society. So that is going to come into the picture. That is called subjective norms. Then perceived behavior control. Do I believe I have the skills and resources? If you keep on thinking, the entire your life is going to be, passed on that. Yeah. So need to understand those areas, because once you start working with the strong mindset, these things are going to resolve like anything. Right? So you need entrepreneurs. Intention is not random. It is cultivated through mindset, context, and confidence. You need to, garner those things very, very clearly in your mind. Okay. So now just very last point where we need to discuss about the foundation of the innovation. That is family influence. Where do entrepreneurs come from? First, family influence. So if you have directly the entrepreneurs' parents, they are available. Relatives, if they are, then very simple way that you would be having very nice traits of to become a strong entrepreneur or a level of the entrepreneurs you are going to have. Right? So like people say, if their parents are into a business, that particular person can easily do the business with very nice level, and they have very clear cut idea, having theoretical and conceptual clarity, then they can scale up easily. Then educational background, yes, people are there understanding the formal education and then creating more ideas, understanding the skills or learning those skills to analyzing the market scenario, identification of the trends, then creating the more and more idea about how to plan, do business, presentations, everything. Then this is the educational background is going to help it. There are n number of examples you can quote on this. Professional experience, where you talk about past roles in technology, finance, operation. Then you come into the picture of having a new startup, which you have the experience, amalgamating from various other technology, finances, and starting those things. Yeah. So character AI, simple example, chatbot, which was started the people who were working in the Google. Yeah. So there are more and more socioeconomic contexts where you access to the capital. Somebody is very strong in raising the funds, right? So networking. Some people are very strong in doing the networking. Then people are very fast to build up the relation. So like-minded people who can easily handle those things, they come into the picture and create those things, right? So what makes entrepreneurship as a last? That is first, visionary thinking. They have the vision. Again, I'm saying vision is not for a shorter time, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years down the line. Seeing the opportunities where others see the obstacles. Issues are there, we cannot do it. But entrepreneurs find out the solution for those things for a longer time. Yeah, I won't take anything, understand those things. Resilience and perseverance. That means they talk more on failures and try to ensure that how you can generate more opportunities out of there. So those failures are turning into the opportunities. That is the important thing. That is the basic key for having a successful entrepreneurship. Then innovativeness and creativity is the part. It is a soul. Challenging norms with the novel ideas. If you are going with the traditional rules and regulations, then you are good as an employee. Cannot be an employee. That is the way how you challenge the norms through the novel ideas. Then risk-taking appetite and how you are adaptable. That is going to be very, very strong. And again, risk is not the open or naked kind of a risk. Calculated risk. The, the depth must be known. So that is going to come. Willing to leave and able to pivot the fast. How you adaptable? How market is reacting towards a particular price or product or services. You must able to understand on that. Clear? Simple. And so ultimately, background plus traits give you a probable good chance to become an entrepreneur. Very good chance to become an entrepreneur, right? So combined power of strong professional background plus self motivation give you an innovation to execute. Family business exposure plus adaptability give you a longer term sustainability. So that background set the stage for you or for the entrepreneur, right? Where traits drive the action. And if you combine them, you have the different type of characteristics of the entrepreneurship or successful entrepreneurship. Real life fusion example. That is already we talk about green cycle. Very small case studies there. You can study it and you can easily identify, or you can visit the green cycle also. It is very simple. Background that you grew in a eco-conscious family, studied environmental science. Easily you can identify, just giving that very brief about it. Right? Okay, the final stage. Few questions, quick answers expected from your side. Okay, first question. You need to answer. Which of the following backgrounds is most likely to influence early entrepreneurship or aspirations? What should be the answer? Everyone, quick, 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 quick. What should be the answer? Quick, we need to close. 2, 3. Come on, come on, come on. What should be answer? What should be the answer? Which of the following backgrounds is most likely to influence early stages? That is experience working in a corporate or no? That is exposure to family run business. Apart from A, C, and D. So B is the correct answer. Clear? I think majority of you have given the answer. Okay, which characteristics is least likely to be found in successful entrepreneurs? Least likely. Risk-taking ability, visionary thinking, resistance to change, resilience in failure. Quick, everyone. What should be the answer? What should be the answer? Okay. No, resilience to in failure. No, it is answer is C. Resistance to change. Least likely. Read the question properly. It is least likely. Right? Okay. I think which last question, I think second last. Which is the following is an example of entrepreneurship supported by corporate ecosystem? Entrepreneurship. A bakery startup using Instagram, a manager launching a new AI project within the Google, a non-profit founder creating a social app, and a freelancer designing an e-commerce website. Quick, what should be the answer? Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. What should be the answer? What do you think? What is the example? All right. Yes. Correct. B is the answer. Right? All right. I think we can stop over here. If you have any question, just let me know. Any question? Anything? Any question? If you have, just let me know. Any questions so far? Anything? Any question? Any question? Hope you received that feedback form. Okay, feedback form is already there. All right, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. If you have question, you can ask me in the chat. Yes, sure. We'll go with more slower in the next time. Don't worry. Okay, thanks so much. Thanks a lot.